Outer Banks hit our screens last year, and the second season dropped this summer, with fans wanting more. The show is based on a series of novels, the latest of which is with us at the end of the month, and we can't wait to give it a read. So how will the latest novel affect the show going forward? Stay with us, as today we're discussing this question. First off, what's happened in the show so far? There was drama aplenty in the last episode of Outer Banks Season 2, as well as a huge cliffhanger which pretty much ensured Season 3 will be confirmed. I mean, how can they not after that? The Pogues' treasure hunt gained higher stakes when a family connection was revealed with the discovery of a new relic. The Pogues and the Camerons then faced off for a massive fortune. The episode revealed that Ward is also still alive after he shows himself to Sarah on board the ship. He receives a well-deserved slap in the face from Sarah, trying to explain that he faked his own death to clear Rafe's name. He then goes on to reveal his plan to take the Camerons off to a remote French island and tells of Rafe getting the cross of San Domingo, which Ward then lies about when he tells her that he gave the cross away to John B. Elsewhere, Cleo joined the Pogues after being found in the engine room repairing the ship by Pope. At this point, Cleo hasn't realized she's one of the Pogues until Pope realized he's there for John B. after they fight. Cleo and the Pogues then trap the crew in one part of the ship and succeed in hooking the cross onto a crane. John B. then goes on the hunt for Sarah, but instead runs into Rafe in the engine room. Sarah has since escaped from Ward and is heading home without knowing where John B. is. Next, when can we expect Season 3? As the newest addition to the book series is already to drop right now, we doubt it'll have any effect on the third season of Outer Banks, should there be one. The second season finished over 3 months ago now, and there still hasn't been no announcement as to if the show has been renewed or not. However, due to the popularity of the show, it outperformed a lot of Netflix's most popular shows, so there's a cause to be optimistic. Executive producer Jonas Pate has said he expects the show to run through 4 or 5 seasons, and that seems fairly realistic to us. We can't really see any reason why Netflix wouldn't give it a green light, especially after the continued release of the books. Should a third season ultimately materialize, we wouldn't expect it to hit our screens until, well, the end of the year. What would you like to see happen in Season 3 though? So why the delay in announcing Season 3? Stay with us to find out. We think, or maybe hope, Netflix is hanging on to see the direction of the novel heads in to see if it's marketable and worth renewing the series. As the showrunners don't know the overall arc of the series yet, it could be seen as foolish to greenlight another season before knowing where the story, well, heads. This might prove to be a problem for the show and for Netflix, as ultimately, it's difficult to get invested in a show if you don't know if it's going to be canceled or not. This is a problem the streaming giant has had to deal with over and over. The only shows we can seemingly watch with any sense of investment are the huge ones where Netflix is also invested in for the long haul. We hope Outer Banks isn't the latest in a long line of smaller shows to get canceled, as we believe it has the potential to go on a long run due to how strong the novels are. So let's take a look at the novel itself. Stay tuned. The newest addition in the Outer Banks story will be a prequel to what has happened so far, called Lights Out. It'll be in stores later this month, November 23rd to be exact. The prequel gives glimpses into the lives of JJ and John B before Season 1 has taken place, during the spring break when their rivals, the Cooks, appear in town. There's plenty of juicy plots in this one, including an interesting romantic plot for JJ. More on that in a second. John B and JJ take a fishing trip out to the notorious Frying Pan Shoals. On the way, the guys meet one of the Cook crew, Savannah, who joins them after being left stranded by her unchivalrous boyfriend. The storm they're caught in gets stronger, and they come up with the plan of riding it out in an abandoned hotel. Further complicating the crew's adventure is the simmering attraction between JJ and the secretive Savannah. The closer he gets to her, the more he realizes she might be trouble. Even if they get out of the shoals alive, can a romance between the two lovers from rival clans survive the gossip pit of the Outer Banks? There are plenty more plots throughout this novel, and when it eventually does appear on our screens, it should be great viewing. Will you be reading Lights Out? Next, we're looking at the author of Lights Out. The book's author, Alyssa Sheinmel, is known for books such as The Castle School, A Danger to Herself and Others, and What Kind of Girls, amongst others. She grew up in California, although currently lives and works in New York, as so many other authors do. As well as her own writing, she has also worked as a co-author, ghostwriter, and book doctor. A book doctor will read your book looking for big issues that need addressing, such as development, structure, or organization and flow, or even something as simple as making sure the story, well, makes sense. Also, she gives advice on different ways to build a career as a writer. Next, we're looking at how the show compares to the real place. Don't go anywhere. Although set in a fictional town, the Outer Banks of North Carolina is a real place consisting of a collection of barrier islands on the east coast of the United States. The country which the show is set in, Kildare County, is obviously a mashup of the county name and the town of Kildare Hills, the real-life town in Dare County. Incidentally, Dare County is named after Virginia Dare, the first ever Pilgrim child born in the States. Interestingly, the show also portrays OBX as a nice little place surrounded by marshes, sand, and water where tourists can spend a few days during the summer. This is mostly accurate. In reality, the Outer Banks boasts a marina, outdoor cafes and restaurants, craft boutiques, and also a big commercial fishing history. Fish is the big economy driver historically in the Outer Banks, tending to be family business of the locals and being passed down through generations. Just like the show, the real Outer Banks is known as a place which swallows up ships and doesn't spit them back out. John B's dad spent a large chunk of his life looking for a shipwreck, and after a hurricane passes through, the guys find a wreck which provides them with a big clue. Local estimates reckon there are as many as 3,000 shipwrecks along the 100-mile shoreline of Dare County, which is more akin to the Bermuda Triangle. It's said there are also German U-boats and conquistador ships settled on the bottom of the coastline. What else is similar then? Well, let's see. As in the show, lighthouses all play a big part of life in Dare County. The place is home to one of the most recognizable lighthouses in the world, Cape Hatteras Lighthouse, which is the tallest in America. The link between the real Outer Banks and the show can be seen throughout the use of lighthouses, as an important clue found in the shipwreck points to the Redfield Lighthouse. There are also a whole host of other iconic lighthouses up and down the shore of the real Outer Banks. The show does get one thing slightly wrong. There is in fact no direct ferry between OBX and Chapel Hill, like it suggests. There are, however, other ferries that link the OBX, as well as numerous bridges, which is kind of needed as the place is surrounded by water. That said, have you ever been to Outer Banks? What do you think about the place? So where is the series filmed then? Stay with us to find out. Believe it or not, the show is actually filmed in South Carolina, just south of the real-life Outer Banks. In North Carolina, unlike many shows who choose to film in cheaper, more accessible locations to where they're actually set. The water scenes are filmed on Shem Creek in Mount Pleasant, but most of the rest of the series is filmed in Charleston, just south of Outer Banks. You'll also be pleased to know that The Wreck is a real restaurant in Mount Pleasant. Netflix had originally planned to film in real-life Outer Banks, North Carolina, but that idea was shut down due to the state's House Bill 2 legislation, which requires transgender people to use the bathroom of the sex they were born as. Because of this, the production team decided to use South Carolina. As always, thanks for tuning in today, guys, and make sure to give the book a read when it comes out and tell us, well, what you thought. Also, remember to stop by next time. Take care. We'll catch you on the next one.